Hi, I'm Dr. Jack Singer with Ask an Expert, answering your love and relationship questions. Today's question is, Dear Dr. Jack, with all that's been in the news lately about coaches and children, my husband and I are worried about what could possibly happen or how we can prevent things from happening, but we don't want to freak our children out. How do we discuss these issues? Well, this is a very devastating issue, as you know, that's been in the news constantly. We know that there are 80,000 cases of child abuse, especially rape to females and to males, that are reported every year, and there are many times that number that go unreported. So this is a mega problem that has a lot of parts to it. The first thing to do is to always maintain a safe and comfortable relationship with your children so they can come to you with anything. But from the time they're very young, you need to talk about sexual issues in a very mature way so that they know sexual issues are safe and healthy, but they also know what the boundaries are. You need to discuss with your children about touching. You need to discuss with your children about people who are outside of their mother and father who should not be doing certain things with them, as you can imagine, that they should not be touching them in unusual ways, that they should not be alone one-on-one with them unless it's something that's been completely approved. One of the warning signs, by the way, is that adults who always want to be one-on-one with the child, and it seems a little unusual that that's all they want. It's very important to understand that 60% of people who abuse children are people who are known to the families. They're either family members and they're trusted people. They could be a step-parent, they could be an aunt, an uncle, or they could be a clergy person, or they could be a coach, or they could be a teacher. They're known to the family. So you can imagine the conflict that develops in the victim when they're feeling as if they love this person, or they care about this person, or this is a powerful person, and yet they don't feel comfortable about what that person is doing with them, but yet they feel if they say anything about it, the person will withdraw their love, or in the worst instances, they've been threatened, if you say anything about it, I'll say you're a liar, or I'll hurt your family, or something like that. So this is a very confusing issue for children. The best thing to do is look for warning signs, and let me give you some of the warning signs. Children should not dramatically change their behavior. That's not normal. So if suddenly a child becomes reclusive and doesn't want to play with friends and is hiding in his or her room, or they're not talking much, or they're very secretive, or they're having difficulty sleeping, or their appetite changes, if anything dramatic like that happens, that's not normal. Something is causing that to happen. With children who've been sexually abused, frequently we see that they become seductive in their talking. They introduce sex into their talking. I've heard of cases where young boys try to look under girls' skirts and they never did that before. This is frequently a sign that some kind of sexual abuse has taken place with these people. Sometimes children a little older who talk about suicide, of course you would always go for help when that happens, but sometimes it's because they're feeling so horrified that what they've allowed to happen, they've somehow blamed themselves. So if you see any of these behaviors that are unusual for your child, it's time to get some help. Now, it's good to be able to communicate with your child, but frequently the child will be very uncomfortable discussing this with you because they don't want to offend this person that's a friend of the family or who's in the family, or they don't want to cause them to be blamed and so forth. So you really need to seek out a professional and do it even if the child doesn't want to do it. You do it anyway. And the main thing you have to remember is that that professional is legally bound to report any suspicion of child abuse to legal authorities. So that's going to happen without you having to do it. I hope that this is not happening in your family, but if it does, you can stop it immediately or at least prevent it from going any further. Connect with me at yourtango.com/experts/Jack Singer.